Today's trip down the Turnpike is brought to you by Drizzly, your online liquor store. Available in over 95 cities across North America, Drizzly offers a huge selection and competitive pricing with a side of personalized content. Now there's no need to leave the house. Get alcohol delivered in less than an hour by Drizzly. Head on over to drizzly.com and order today. And now get $5 off your first order of $20 or more when using promo code DRINK19 at checkout. Shop beer, wine, and liquor with drizzly.com. Welcome to Turnpike Sports. I am Dave Weishuttle, and as always, I am joined by my producer and co-host, Doug Weishuttle. Doug, it's draft time.
Draft day.
Draft day. Can't wait.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, it's this is the first year that a lot of people are going to be putting money down on the draft, and I guess later on in the show, we're going to try and make sense of it all.
The one thing I am very happy about not hearing anymore are mock drafts.
They started with mock drafts months ago, and it's just continuing, and I'm glad we're done with that.
But it is the only time you really see a full day's worth or a couple days worth of Mel Kiper on TV.
Or Todd Shea.
Todd McShay.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
I wonder if those guys get along.
I don't know. Sometimes you see a little tension between them.
I kind of see a little tension. I guess they have to get along today, but no, it's interesting. But the information out there is overwhelming, and like I said later on in the show, we're going to try and make sense of it all.
Yeah, no, it's 4 days, 7 rounds, and honestly, I'm getting used to the primetime stuff. I don't like it. I miss it when it was just 2 big days. Saturday and Sunday.
That was great. That was a lot of fun.
Showing our age here, but it was a lot more fun when it was 2 days. But I can understand how the first round should be separated out. It makes sense. Gives them more advertising revenue to make a bigger production of it.
And nowadays, I guess for betting purposes, it's probably better to spread it out over a couple of days like they're doing right now.
I just hope we don't see day 1, day 2, day 3, all the way to day 7 of the draft.
We'll see. But it's a busy week, and we're going to take a trip down the Turnpike. And today's trip down the Turnpike is brought to you by Drizzly, your online liquor store. Available in over 95 cities across North America, Drizzly offers a huge selection and competitive pricing with a side of personalized content. Now there's no need to leave the house. Get alcohol delivered in less than an hour by Drizzly. Head on over to drizzly.com and order today. And now get $5 off your first order of $20 or more when using our promo code DRINK19 at checkout. Shop beer, wine, and liquor with drizzly.com.
Exit 1.
Okay, we have a new study to talk about here in the sports betting exit here. But before we get to that, let me get to some of the other happenings in the sports betting world. We have going on right now the Betting on Sports USA conference that's going on in FanDuel and Meadowlands complex up there.
Boy, that's a big coup for the FanDuel Sportsbook. That's great.
Well, FanDuel and PointsBet, they got a window there now,
They got a window, yes, FanDuel and PointsBet.
Yeah, and that's been going on, and a couple of new things have been coming out. I mean, most notably, DraftKings in one of the panels mentioned that 40% of their online sports betting action is now from in-game betting.
I gotta be honest with you, I haven't done a lot of that. I mean, I bet and then I watch the game, so it's one of those things. I'll take that back. The one time I did in-game betting, I guess you would call it in-game betting.
Golf
is the Tiger Woods and the Phil Mickelson thing. I guess you would consider that in-game betting, but that's the only time I did that.
Well, now that may fall into some of the categories we're going to talk about with the study that came out by Eilers Krejcik. But again, the 40% live in-game betting, I wonder how that is reflected with the other online sports books too.
It should be interesting. I mean, I would think, anytime you think of DraftKings, unfortunately for DraftKings, you think of FanDuel and vice versa. So I always think of those two guys together because they started off fantasy sports competitors and now they're sportsbook competitors. But, look, especially in New Jersey, when you're in a bar, when you're in a restaurant, when you're on the train, people have their phones out and you know what they're doing. And especially in bars and restaurants, when they're watching a game, they're constantly on their phone, so they must be in-game betting.
It has to be. And speaking of possibly what in-game betting is going to affect is the new deal between the Arena Football League and DraftKings.
Should be very interesting. The Arena Football League starts this weekend, right?
Yep. And the deal is really for the fantasy sports aspect of it, but in all the material I was reading on it, all the press releases, all the articles, the one line that didn't get enough attention, I think, was the fact that not only are you going to be able to do the daily fantasy sports contests on arena football teams,
sure,
Mississippi and New Jersey people are also going to be able to bet through the DraftKings online sportsbook.
Well, let's be honest. I think one of the teams at least was, I think, formulated just for betting purposes, and that's the Atlantic City Blackjacks. I mean, the president of the AFL, when they were naming the Atlantic City Blackjacks and their introduction to the league, said, gambling creates fan engagement.
Yep.
So I think, I think they have an eye to this, and certainly I don't think Atlantic City would have gotten a team.
No.
If it wasn't for sports betting.
And then you also have,
just my opinion.
You also have the Philadelphia Soul. They back-ended into the sports betting stuff because
sure,
Pennsylvania was after New Jersey for getting sports betting. But it's going to be fun. I may actually have to see if any of the other sports books are going to be offering betting on the AFL games.
Sure.
What I know of right now is DraftKings. We got two other problems, and then I'll get to some other big news.
Problems?
Yeah, Delaware North, the West Virginia situation. Remember they had that shut down?
Well, I interviewed someone from Delaware North when they were just getting started. I guess that was before the problems occurred.
Yeah, they were very happy because they were talking about Bet Lucky, the app.
Yeah, they're the first and I think only sports app in West Virginia.
Not anymore.
Yeah,
they are now nothing's working right now because they had to sue. Delaware North is suing their sports betting tech partner, Myomni.
Sure.
And they're doing it on basis of alleged fraud, all that stuff, because Myomni is having a third-party dispute with another piece of their technology.
And that trickles down and affects them. So,
exactly.
Okay.
So there's a lawsuit going on there. Don't know what's going to happen there yet. The Wheeling Island and the Mardi Gras and the Bet Lucky, all sports betting stuff is all shut down. We'll just have to see how that turns out, because the one thing I found out was Myomni also supplies some of the tech to the Vegas sports books.
Oh, is West Virginia the only? Are they the only ones having a problem with Myomni, or
they're Delaware North is the only one that has a contract with them?
Okay, all right.
I mean, Greenbrier has the FanDuel.
FanDuel, yeah.
But other than that, Myomni was the only partner they had with these guys.
Oh, okay.
Rhode Island is kind of screwed up right now too because of
I don't get Rhode Island at
faulty numbers in the budget proposals. They rely, it's a he said she said now because Rhode Island's blaming the AGA, and the AGA is saying we don't know why they relied on these numbers because it's not what they were. So it's we don't know what's going on.
So their projections for sports betting
were so messed up.
Were kind of off. Do both parties say those numbers were off?
Yes.
They're just fighting about who provided those numbers, right?
Well, they're fighting about who relied on those numbers.
Okay.
And it's it all comes down to Rhode Island lawmakers doing something really dumb, which was not double checking a lot of the numbers, possibly, or going with just one set of numbers and not having some other kind of cross check.
You know when Rhode Island sports books will start doing well, it's when Boston teams start doing badly.
Yeah, well, they got their chance now with the Red Sox.
They got destroyed from the Patriots Super Bowl, but because the Rhode Island books are closer to Foxborough than Foxborough is to Boston.
Well, right now, Rhode Island is suffering from a $40 million hole in this year's and next year's budgets because of this.
Okay,
but it was interesting. Rhode Island sports betting revenue went up a bit.
Good.
In March as compared to February. They're still not making a lot of money in terms of hold because everything goes to the state. The casinos are
like 51%.
51%. Then I think another 30 goes to IGT and the other sports betting operators there. Then the rest goes to the casinos.
Okay.
So it's one of those things where they're not going to make a lot of money anyway, the casinos.
Well,
Until this thing shoots up.
It's money they would not have been making otherwise. So it's kind of, cherry on top. It's not costing them a lot, and they're bringing in a little bit. And like I said, when Boston teams start doing poorly, I think the sports books will be doing better.
Well, we'll see what happens with Rhode Island. They got a big hole to climb out of right now.
Yeah.
Other big news, we've got a 24/7 free sports gambling network coming to the airwaves.
I can't wait to watch this.
It'll be interesting. It's Sports Grid, Sports Radar combining to do all-day programming on on sports betting. They're going to be doing statistics, previews, other information. They've got some digital outlets all set to go: Amazon, Apple, YouTube. Possible cable TV deals coming down the road, but this is going to be a free network.
Good.
Because I know some of the other ones. You have Action, you have TVGs, the FanDuel stuff. Some of those are mostly free, but some of the other shows and programs are not free.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have a subscription to some of these, like Visa and all that stuff. Some of those things.
It was interesting. I have Roku, and on Roku, FanDuel has a channel, and they do their what is their Sunday show called? More Ways to Win.
More Ways to Win.
I think they have a fantasy show on there, and I think what is it? Barstool Sports has a show on it.
Yep.
So, but it's very interesting. When I clicked on the channel, they asked me before I started watching, and it's a one-time only thing, what's my FanDuel login information?
Yep.
And luckily, I have FanDuel for fantasy sports and the sports book, so I was able to give that. But it's interesting that they require that.
Well, this is planned to be for everybody. You don't have to have a sports book registration. You don't have to have a lot of other subscription messes going on, except other than if you subscribe to some of these services.
When it comes to sports betting, I think more information is great. So I think it's a great thing.
I think the one thing everyone's got to worry about is information overload.
Yeah, right.
I mean, there is just.
I think we're going to talk about information overload when we talk about the NFL draft in our next segment, because this is information overload.
Yep. And last but not least, the study I just teased at the beginning of the exit. Ehlers Krychek Gaming released a report. The more you know, the better. Defining U.S. sports betting customer personas.
Mm-hmm. By the way,
interesting topic.
By the way, you didn't highlight the creative aspect of that title. The more you know, the better. BETTOR. They're very clever.
Yes, very very pun filled there.
Yeah.
So
that loses something on the radio.
Yeah, but they have 7 different personalities of sports betting types, or whatever you want to call them: sharps, high rollers, would be pros, action chasers, super fans, status seekers, and casual dabblers.
I guess I would fit into casual dabblers.
I honestly,
action. I'm not an action chaser.
I'm not a super fan because I don't bet on my teams. I mean, I did place a future bet on the Jets winning more than 7.5 games. So
I got to be honest. I bet on all my favorite teams last summer when sports betting came live. So it's because I know those teams better.
Exactly.
And I wanted to place a bet the first day of sports betting, so that's what I did. I placed small money bets on futures on my favorite teams.
The superfans category had an interesting statement. It's those types of fans, or those types of bettors, generally profitable for the sports book and limited cross-sell potential, which means they're not going to bet on anything else but their own teams.
Yeah, okay.
And, I guess there's a lot of those out there right now.
Back to the problem with the Rhode Island books.
Yeah.
That's how they're losing money. I guess a lot of people in Rhode Island or New England. What was that category?
Super fans.
Super fans.
And you know what? New England is full of super fans.
They're the super fans.
According to them, there's no sports. It's just the Patriots, Red Sox, Celtics, and the Red Sox.
Yep.
There's nothing outside of those. And the Bruins. I'm sorry, I forgot about the Bruins.
Yep, that's still alive in the NHL. You can't leave out the Bruins.
No, but we'll see. Interesting breakdown, and if you ever have a chance to get a copy of the report, it's really the way they broke everything down is almost logical to a certain extent.
Absolutely.
But there are certain aspects of it that value for the sports book, value for the sports bettor, how they break everybody down.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Take a look at that report and see where you fall as a bettor, what category you fall into.
Yeah, I'm probably shifting from casual dabbler to the one right above it at some point.
Status seeker?
Yeah, I guess so. I don't like the way that phrased it.
I never tell anyone my bets, so I don't know. I'm not a status seeker.
No, I'm definitely not going to be a super fan. So,
if I won the brackets, by the way, I tell everyone I won the brackets.
Oh,
but
there you go.
Other than that, I'm not a.
Exit 2.
Going from sports betting to eSports. A couple of interesting things happened here. The big one is a big name getting into the eSports realm.
Oh, okay.
The eSports organization Gen G announced it raised $46 million in a funding round.
Wow.
And a lot of these were big name sports and entertainment. I'll read off some of the names before I get to the big one.
Okay.
Los Angeles Clippers minority owner Dennis Wong. Mm-hmm. Alibaba Group's former chairman of U.S. Investments, Michael Sizer. Japanese soccer player Keisuke Honda.
Oh, wow.
He had his charity invest in it, the Dreamers Fund.
I've heard of that. That's a big one.
And the big name for this round of investment for Gen G was actor Will Smith.
Boy, you're seeing a lot of big names getting involved in esports. You know, I can't. I think this is the year it's going to explode.
It's just growing and growing.
It just keeps growing and growing.
And just to show you how they're treating this as more of a sport than anything, Gen G CEO is the former executive vice president at Major League Baseball, Chris Park.
Wow.
So they've got some really big names involved in this and running it. It's 8 professional sports leagues under the Gen G umbrella.
8 professional sports leagues?
Leagues.
Leagues. 8 professional esport leagues.
Teams in 8 leagues. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, misspoke there, but it's teams in 8 different leagues, all different types of games.
Interesting.
Yeah, and
now, do they have a specific place they're going to play these things, or is it going to be all over the place?
It's going to be all over the place wherever these things are held.
Will they come together in some? They have to come together in some kind of championship. They have to have a.
They all have their own championships.
Big scene.
Yeah. And the last little piece of this was Silicon Valley Bank. You gotta have a Silicon Valley component, I guess.
Yep.
Is now their banking partner, and will be helping them organize future events and content through 2020.
Wow.
So 2 years worth of Silicon Valley Bank there. The other big news I came across in the esports industry was the potential formation of the European Esports Federation.
So what is this? Still in negotiation with everyone, or that they have to get it together? Or?
They had this at the European Esports meeting in Berlin on April 10th. And it's being called the Berlin Declaration.
Okay.
Boy, very formal name there.
Sounds ominous.
Yeah, I know, right? Anything coming, with Berlin attached sometimes.
I mean, hey, it means they're serious.
Yeah. It's esports organizations from the UK, France, Germany, Turkey, Russia, Sweden, Austria, Hungary, Serbia, Slovakia, Ukraine, and Belgium have all come together, and they want to do basically almost a governing body of European esports.
This has to be the first step of it getting into the Olympics. I mean, you don't have this worldwide. I mean, this is a European federation. I'm sure the U.S. is going to be doing something similar or getting involved in something similar. And it just seems like, they're kind of moving toward an Olympic or a worldwide kind of stage,
Well, the one thing I want to see happen with something like this, if you're going to have a European organization like this, or association, whatever you want to call it, you're going to see a North American.
Sure.
Mexico, United States, Canada. They're going to actually join together, obviously, and you're going to have 2 competing esports bodies administering the sports. And, the one thing is you're going to have an issue with esports rules now. That's going to have to be hammered out if you got this kind of combination of things.
Well, that's probably the reason for the federation. Now you can be under the umbrella of one set of rules.
But you got to have people willing to accept those standards.
Well,
I mean, if you run a contest differently, like in Germany versus, Serbia.
If they see how much money they're going to make, they're going to fall in line.
If they're going to share the money.
Well, we'll see.
Are they going to exclude certain areas because they don't want to be part of it?
Well, that's the reason.
That's all going to come down.
That's the reason for a federation.
Exit 3.
Okay, I can't believe we're going to still keep talking about this, but the Alliance of American Football although dead and defunct, is still making news.
Let this thing die in dignity. It's just in some weird way.
Dignity happened a long time ago. That died a long time ago.
I'm glad. Well, first off, talking about the AAF, I'm glad some of the players got picked up by the NFL. So, or signed with, or had tryouts, or
a lot of them did that,
which seemed to be the purpose of the AAF to begin with.
It was nice to see that. They're not being allowed to go to the Canadian Football League, though.
That's weird, but all right.
Because the AAF is treating their contracts as collateral.
Well, if
they want to sell the contracts,
if it's dead, why are they even still involved in the contracts with these players?
The contracts are still there.
Because they're just trying to keep themselves alive to sell these contracts.
They're treating it as an asset.
Wow. Boy.
But they just filed for Chapter 7 bankruptcy. And for those people who don't understand the difference between Chapter 7 and Chapter 11, Chapter 11 means there's a shot that they're going to reorganize and relaunch after they get a plan that's acceptable to the creditors. Chapter 7 means they're dead. They're not coming back.
Which leads me, again, to talk about those contracts. Those contracts should be null and void, and they should allow the players to go wherever they want to go.
Well, this is one of the reasons why they're holding on to the contracts. They want to sell them. They have assets of $11.3 million, which are some of the player contracts.
Okay.
They have liabilities almost $50 million.
Wow.
And they say they only have $536,000 in cash on hand. Now, what's interesting I found was that they paid Charlie Ebersol, the co-founder, since May 15th, they paid him over $300,000. So some of that money went to him.
May 15th, 2018.
2018.
Okay.
Yeah. Since the inception. Wow. He's made $300,000 since it was announced, I guess. It was announced it was announced a year ahead of its time.
Yeah.
So, but listen to some of these creditors. These have secured claims. MGM Resorts for $7 million, Aramark Sports, which is the concessions,
sure,
$1.8 million, Silicon Valley Bank again,
there's Silicon Valley again,
$800,000, and then you have unsecured claims, CBS over $5 million, CAA $30,000, Mike Pereira and Dean Blandino, the two referee consultants, one is $60,000 and Dean Blandino has $45,000. I was amazed at the hotels. I dug these out. The league owes 6 hotels $1.36 million.
Wow. And
then they owe the venues, Arizona State and UCF, 1.2, and then almost $800,000 to UCF for the use of their stadiums.
And wasn't there a sports owner who came in and gave some money to him? And I thought he bailed him out for everything.
Funny you should mention him.
Okay.
Because one of the things that was a question mark in terms of the AAF, when they were formed, they were all gung-ho with the sports betting stuff. They had the app, player tracking, all that stuff. And everyone was assuming because Dundon, the Carolina Panthers owner, came in with, I think it was, $250 million?
I see. I thought that bailed them out, and I thought, they were fine. Because the first couple of weeks, they were talking about how great the ratings were, and then all of a sudden we hear someone has to bail them out, and then, he gave them money, and I thought that was going to be fine.
Well, see, that makes me think how that $250 million is going to be structured, because it obviously did not come in all at once.
Obviously not.
Because if they have liabilities $48 million, $250 million would actually have to go to some of that stuff. Mm-hmm. So I'm assuming Dundon came in and said, I'll give you this much over this many years. And one of the questions was, who's going to own the app now? The tech. And it came out that MGM filed some court documents right after the AAF went defunct to get the app. They were guaranteed the app in the AAF boilerplate language that they filed in terms of forming the league. MGM was given ownership of the app.
Well, see, that makes sense, because anytime the sports books and these other parties do a deal, data is such an important part of these deals that they make, and this app would fit in perfectly for them.
And now you got to think this app, if it was actually a fully functioning app. I haven't seen the app, to be honest.
I haven't looked at it. I mean, I saw a couple of games. I threw FanDuel had FanDuel online. You could bet on some of the games. I think I bet on one. I lost. And, and that was about it. Then all of a sudden, I didn't know what times they were on. I didn't care. It was just. But it wasn't great football.
Supposedly, what they were doing with the app was the player tracking stuff.
I didn't see that. I saw I saw the commercial of it, and what it looked like it was they were actually tracking the players while the play was going on, or just immediately after the play was going on.
See, the one thing I thought they were going to do was what some of the networks are experimenting with now: the alternative broadcasts, where they were going to have the betting stuff on one alternate broadcast, and on the main TV stuff was just going to be a normal football game. I thought they were going to be doing something like that. They never did. I thought that was going to launch right off the bat with this stuff. And it was something that I guess they were trying to implement in probably year 2 if they made it. They didn't make it they didn't even make it through year 1. They got through 8 games of 10.
Yeah.
So again, I'm going to be very curious to see how this sports betting app that the AAF came up with is integrated into the NFL at some point, because it's got to.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Exit 4.
All right, last but not least, we've been talking about football, we've been talking about the draft, we've been talking about eSports. We're going to talk a little soccer.
Very popular worldwide sport.
Well, the MLS, Major League Soccer, is going to be expanding to 30 teams in the next couple of years.
That's a lot.
3 teams. They're at 20. They're at 26 teams right now. 28 teams.
When leagues expand, I would think they do an even number of teams. I don't know how they're broken down into categories or divisions or anything like that. But
well, they had planned on 28th and 29th teams, and they are now looking at 30 teams. And this is the reason why. Sacramento and St. Louis are 28th and 29th, respectively. The 30th team, franchise, whatever you want to call it, is being planned for Las Vegas.
Which makes sense. A lot of sports teams or a lot of sports leagues are looking to Vegas.
Yep, and the last expansion team cost, this is where the money comes in. The expansion team fee started off way back when. $50 million was what the first set of expansion teams made. Chivas, Real Salt Lake, they all paid $10 million. $50 million was the second set of investments to get a franchise. And then you have the last expansion team, the Inter Miami Soccer Club.
Okay.
$150 million franchise fee.
Wow.
These, the 28th, the 29th, and the 30th, are going to be $200 million each. So
I got to tell you, I don't know a lot about MLS. I mean, we're on the East Coast, so I know Philadelphia has a team, the Union. I know the New York area has 2 teams, Red Bulls.
And the New York Football Club.
And the New York Football Club. And I know in New England, there's the New England Revolution who play at Gillette Stadium.
Right.
I mean, other than that, I don't know too much about the MLS.
Well, you're going to see 30 teams. So one in Vegas. There's actually surprising.
They must make money because, for these big cities to support these teams, they must be getting enough people out.
Oh, yeah. And
with sports betting there's one more thing to bet on.
The one thing they're waiting on with regard to Vegas, and it's another league. They're looking at the United Soccer League's Las Vegas Lights Football Club.
Now,
that's another professional league.
It's another professional league.
They already exist in Las Vegas.
They're on the same level as MLS?
Yeah, let me put it this way. It's like the NFL and the AAF.
Well, I hope they're not like
a successful AAF. How about if I put it that way? Okay. But no, that's what they're going. They're seeing how this Las Vegas Lights Football Club operates and see if they start making a profit, see if it makes sense.
Well, look, they have a new stadium in Vegas, and maybe they'll play there.
What, Raider Stadium or whatever they're calling it?
Hey, you know what? Share with other teams.
Well, I actually don't know where the Las Vegas Lights play. I know the city just built a new minor league stadium
for minor league baseball stadium for the Aviators,
Las
right?
Vegas Aviators, owned and operated by the Howard Hughes Corporation, which is the Aviators.
Aviators makes sense.
Yeah, so I don't know where the Lights play, and but it'll be interesting to see if they're waiting on seeing how the Lights do in terms of crowd, revenue, all that stuff. I think you're going to see a Vegas team pretty soon.
Makes sense. And today's trip down the Turnpike was brought to you by Drizzly, your online liquor store. Available in over 95 cities across North America, Drizzly offers a huge selection and competitive pricing with a side of personalized content. Now there's no need to leave the house. Get alcohol delivered in less than an hour by Drizzly. Head on over to drizzly.com and order today, and now get $5 off your first order of $20 or more when using our promo code DRINK19 at checkout. Shop beer, wine, and liquor with drizzly.com.
And to get in touch with us over here at Turnpike Sports, you can call or text us at 609-512-5910, 609-512-5910. Hit us up on Facebook and Twitter. The address is there, the handles, or whatever you want to call it, at Turnpike Sports for both social media sites. Email info@turnpikesportsradio.com. Don't forget to order your 2019 International Bikini Team calendar. info@internationalbikini-team.org is the email address for ordering information. Don't forget, you can catch the show on Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV. Just go over to turnpikesportsradio.com. There's a link up there on the website now. You can also subscribe and listen to the show through iHeartMedia, iTunes, Stitcher Radio, and also on YouTube.
And stick around. Coming up after this, we're going to try and make sense of the NFL draft and possibly think about where we're going to put some money to bet on it. So,
and one promise, no mock draft.
No mock draft, but we'll see. I guess these are all considered prop bets, so stick around. We'll try and make sense of it all when we come back on Turnpike Sports. When it comes to online sports betting, PlaySugarHouse.com offers players one of the best experiences in the state of New Jersey. PlaySugarHouse.com offers millions of betting options on the sports you love. They offer live in-game betting on sporting events worldwide, moneyline bets, point spreads, prop bets, play-by-play bets, and many more. All at PlaySugarHouse.com, your new home for sports betting in New Jersey. Take advantage of one of their 12 easy deposit methods to get in on all the action. And now, when you sign up at PlaySugarHouse.com using our promo code PIKE, they'll match your first deposit up to $250. More bets, better odds at PlaySugarHouse.com. Sign up today at PlaySugarHouse.com and don't forget to use our promo code PIKE to take advantage of their first deposit match up to $250. Must be 21 years or older and in New Jersey to place a bet. Terms and conditions apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
How would you like your coffee delivered right to your door every month, maybe 2 times a month? Well, now that can happen with Bean Genius. Bean Genius sells freshly roasted coffee from some of the best independent coffee roasters in the country at beangenius.com. And Bean Genius actually learns their customers' individual taste preferences, then suggests future coffee blends for them. Well, how do they do that? Well, this is the cool thing about Bean Genius. Over at beangenius.com, they use an algorithm which learns the coffee flavors you like and then pairs up what you like with the coffee that they have in stock. And it's all based upon you. Every time you order, the system learns. The system learns your preferences as you go along and order more and more coffee. And now, all our listeners at Turnpike Sports can get a special offer. You head on over to beangenius.com/subscription, and you'll be able to get 10% off your purchase when you use our promo code PIKE, P-I-K-E, at checkout. That's 10% off at beangenius.com/subscription with promo code PIKE, P-I-K-E. beangenius.com, the smart specialty coffee subscription service.
Free stuff is awesome, but free stuff that will spice up your bedroom is even better. Just go to adamandeve.com and select almost any one item for 50% off, and then we'll load on the free stuff. Just enter this very exclusive code, BABE16 at checkout, and you'll get 10 tantalizing free gifts, including a sexy item for him, a special toy for her, and a third item you'll both enjoy. And 6 extra special bonus items that are sure to rev your engine, pique your curiosity, and even blow you away. Plus, free shipping! Always sent in discreet packaging. Go to adamandeve.com now. Get 50% off plus the 10 free gifts when you enter the exclusive offer code BABE16. That's BABE16, because without it, no free stuff. That's BABE16 at adamandeve.com.
We'll get back to Turnpike Sports in a minute, but I want to talk to you about New Jersey's newest and I think best sportsbook, PointsBet.com. That's right, PointsBet has it all. Spread betting, moneyline betting, prop bets, you name it, you'll find it at PointsBet. And you can bet from anywhere in New Jersey using your mobile device. It's the only place with points betting where every point matters because every point pays. Now, PointsBet has one of the best sign-up offers in the state. Go to PointsBet.com and sign up using our promo code PIKE. That's P-I-K-E, and you'll get a $50 bonus bet plus 2 risk-free bets up to $1,000. It's the preferred sports book of Allen Iverson and Darrelle Revis. They even have the Revis Betting Academy hosted by NFL great Darrelle Revis. So sign up today at PointsBet.com using our promo code PIKE and start having some real fun. That's promo code PIKE, P-I-K-E. PointsBet. Stay sharp. Must be 21 years or older and in New Jersey to place a bet. Terms and conditions apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
I'll bet you $20 I can get you gambling before the end of the day. No way. I'll give you 3-1 odds. No. 5-1. No. 10-1. You're on.
Welcome back to Turnpike Sports. You know, this week the NFL draft is occurring, and a lot more people are going to place legal bets on this draft. So we're going to talk about some things and try and make sense of all the numbers. And appropriately enough, this portion of Turnpike Sports is brought to you by PointsBet.com. PointsBet has one of the best sign-up offers in New Jersey. Go to PointsBet.com and sign up using our promo code PIKE. That's P-I-K-E. And you get a $50 bonus bet plus 2 risk-free bets up to $1,000. So sign up today at PointsBet.com using our promo code PIKE and start having some real fun. That's promo code PIKE, P-I-K-E. PointsBet. Stay sharp. Must be 21 years or older and in New Jersey to place a bet. Terms and conditions apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Well, again, draft is great for the betting industry.
First off, I always love the draft, even without the betting element on it.
That's what I'm saying. I'm going to get into this right now. It's being held in Nashville this year. Next year is going to be more interesting. It's in Vegas.
Okay.
But this year it's...
Talk about betting on the draft.
Exactly. I don't know why the NFL is so hard up about just saying they want to get into the sports betting thing. But here, I pulled off some numbers with regards to just the people going to the draft. These are people that may or may not bet. Betting really has no influence on some of these people. They're expecting 100,000 fans for the NFL draft in Nashville, Tennessee. They have 20 musical acts scheduled to perform. The main stage for the draft is 65 feet tall, 165 feet wide. Thing is huge.
Yeah.
And they're going to have 3 designated viewing areas set along the downtown strip, lined together with food truck vendors, video screens, hot dog vendors. They're making this a huge festival for the entire city.
Wow. Yeah, it is a big event. I mean, I remember it. It was locally here in Philadelphia, and they really did a great job.
Yeah, and this is going to be the first year all 3 days of the draft are going to be carried on ABC, ESPN.
Wow. Okay. Good.
Because they didn't have it all. They didn't have it like this last year or the year before. They had it split up between ABC and ESPN, but ABC and ESPN will be carrying all 3 days. It's gonna be crazy with this stuff. They've planned 360 hours of dedicated coverage for the draft content.
That's amazing.
It's amazing. Yeah. 600 player highlight packages they're preparing. 250 hours of top prospect and draft pick replays on ESPNU for the colleges. It's just crazy, and 7 production trucks they're going to have.
Wow!
Just to put this all together, it's become a huge deal in terms of TV.
Yeah, no, you know the best TV shot they have, and I'm sure they're not going to say it, but there's always one player who just drops like a stone in the draft. I mean, I think
Aaron Rodgers was one.
Aaron Rodgers. I remember what was it? Brady Quinn. I mean, they have a camera in this guy's face the entire night, and just watching as he drops, his face drops. I mean, it's almost you don't want to watch it, but you can't help but watch it.
Well, the one thing last year, it happened to a certain lesser extent, but it got more exaggerated because of his reaction, was Rosen.
Yeah, Josh Rosen, who figures very highly in this year's draft as well.
Yeah, but he didn't fall too far. What did he got? He got picked ninth.
Ninth or 10th. Or 10th overall, I think. 10th overall.
He was so pissed off about going 10th. So, you know, it'll be interesting to see his reaction when he gets traded. If he gets traded.
If he gets traded.
I
mean,
should say that.
That'll figure into some. Look, right now there are so many rumors going around. I know the Kyler Murray, what did he start at? Plus 1,000. Now he's down to plus 400. So there are rumors.
In some books, he was at 1,200.
Yeah, I mean 1,200. Wow, that's a lot. But right now, I can tell you, as we're speaking right now, FanDuel had him at plus 400. So it's interesting to see if these rumors are causing this drop, or
I saw
something they're seeing with the team, or what's going on with it.
I've seen a brand new rumor with regards to him, and maybe this is affecting why he's falling so much. According to some rumors out there, I unverified, no one's sure if the Cardinals are going to take him now. There are reports out there that they're high on one of the defensive guys.
Well, yeah, no, that makes sense. But it also makes sense for some of these teams who need a quarterback. Why don't they jump in and try? This is what's so tough about betting on this thing.
It's also what makes it more fun.
You know, the Arizona Cardinals have the first pick with Kyler Murray, and everyone's linking them. Everything's linking them. But a team like Miami Dolphins, I don't know why they wouldn't jump in on this.
They don't have the draft capital to jump up.
Well, you know, they should give it a shot.
Well,
they should give it. They should, and you know, see what happens.
There's so many different angles here in terms of who's going to be picking who and all that other stuff. I mean, just recently, one guy, Ed Oliver.
Yeah, Ed Oliver.
That came out of nowhere.
Ed Oliver was now rumored to be linked with the Jets, but I only heard a couple of those rumors.
He's linked most conclusively with the Raiders. Which is why the Jets are supposedly in there trying to smoke out the Raiders get a trade.
And here's the tough part about betting on this thing. He's linked not with teams, but he's actually linked with the third pick overall.
Yeah.
That's what he's linked with. Like I said, Kyler Murray's, will probably be one of the first quarterbacks taken, but maybe not with the Arizona Cardinals. I mean, there are trades coming up. I know a lot of sports books have like different packages you can bet. The first three picked, and it's very interesting to see the odds on some of those.
But it'll be everything depends on really right now the Cardinals.
Yeah,
that could screw up a lot of people's betting. It could also screw up a lot of the prop bets.
I got to tell you, they desperately need defense. I mean,
they need everything.
I would go with defense first, but hey.
Well, it'll be weird to see if that other kid, Dwayne Haskins, goes before Kyler Murray if the Cardinals don't pick him.
It should be interesting. He's been linked with the Giants.
Yep.
But maybe not anymore. Who knows?
No, a couple mock drafts now have him going other places now, too.
Yeah,
but
I know.
You have the Redskins. All of a sudden, everyone's talking about the Redskins targeting a quarterback. You had Daniel Snyder threw out all his scouts. He did what the Raiders did.
Okay.
He threw out all his scouts and took over the drafting room. And he said, we got to get a quarterback. Now, whether or not they actually do it or not, and he's just blowing smoke up people's butts with all this stuff, we don't know. We'll find out probably in a couple hours.
I got to tell you, if there's no value in betting on Kyler Murray for number one pick, is there? Because he's the overwhelming favorite, even though the odds are dropping.
You want to throw a buck on it?
Yeah, you know what? There's Bosa out there. I mean, that's
I
kind of like.
I have to admit, I'm going to be a homer in just 2 seconds here. I don't want Bosa.
Okay.
His entire family gets hurt. They walk out the door in the morning. They're going to get hurt.
Well, you know what? But that doesn't mean he's not going to get drafted.
No, he may be the most polished of the defensive guys. I mean, personally, if the Jets stay put at number 3, I would like them to go get Quinnen Williams if he's there.
So you would throw a little money on that tonight, or
no?
No, you're not going to throw a little money?
No, because I honestly think McCagnon's dead set on trading back.
Well, it probably is.
And if he gets the right trade package, like I said, there's a couple teams with multiple draft picks in the first round, so you're going to see some stuff, which leads me to one of the first prop bets we can talk about. Yep. Will a top 10 pick be traded on draft day?
Always. That always happens. Always someone jumps up. I mean, I like that one because I think I might throw a little cash on that one.
Yeah, and you got different sports books are going to have different odds, so shop around to get the best value.
Absolutely,
on
shop
these
around.
picks. I'm seeing most of them having yes minus 700, some and no plus 400. Now, you got to figure out what they mean by top 10 pick being traded, first of all. Does it mean traded out of the top 10? How's the bet structured?
I would think that would be
because
the
I
case.
can see the Jets and the Raiders flipping because they're 3 and 4.
Yep.
Because if the Raiders really want this kid Oliver, they're going to make a move.
Sure.
Because the Jets are making smoke that they want Oliver too now.
Yep.
So you'll see whether or not that happens.
But no, I would take, I think there will be people trading out of.
Oh yeah.
At least one. It always happens. At least one.
Wouldn't it be a shock if the Cardinals traded out of one? No, it would not be a shock. I think if someone comes in with an interesting, there's a lot of people who need. There's Tampa Bay, there's Miami who need quarterbacks, there's Denver who needs quarterback. It's interesting to see what those teams are going to do and how. Right now, as we speak, they're fielding offers. Yep,
they're fielding
everyone
offers.
Is. Well, I think I saw Schefter this morning, and that guy is amazing with the draft information. Mm-hmm. He mentioned that in the last 11 first rounds, only one team in the number one spot has picked in their original position. And that was last year with the Browns.
That was last year. Yeah, that was last year. And seriously, that was a surprise for me. I didn't think they would take Baker Mayfield number one overall. But it worked out for them. Good for them.
They got their quarterback.
Yeah,
and they're happy with them. But, again, trending, you got to say yes on this.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the one I'm looking at, I like that one. But the one I'm looking at is the number of wide receivers taking in the first round. I mean, it's not a big class. I mean, I find it interesting because different sports books have different over-unders. I've seen 2.5 and I've seen 3.5. So which kind of I'm leaning toward the under. If you get 3.5, sport, you go under.
This draft just go under. Is so deep in defensive people.
Yeah, I mean that's the. Wide receiver. There's a lot in the second round. It's going to be a heavy wide receiver second round.
See, I can see at least 2 going towards the back end of the first round, but then again, it's going to be under because I don't see.
Yeah, I mean, you just proved my point. I think it's going to be under.
That's
like I said, I've seen sports books offer the over/under at 2.5, and I've seen some sports books offer 3.5.
Yeah, and it goes in with some of these other prop bets I've seen. Total offensive players drafted. The over/under everywhere is 14.5
in the first round.
In the first round.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I would say under on that, given the defensive depth.
There's a lot of defense. This is the defensive draft, and probably under. Yeah, that's probably under.
How about the total defensive players
in the first round?
In the first round, 17.5.
I might go over on that. I like over. Yeah, no, I like over.
Here's one I found attached to that, which is more interesting. Total defensive linemen drafted.
Oh, wow. Okay.
The over-under I've been finding is around 10.5.
Boy.
Again, people shop around.
Yeah, but no, I'd go under on that one. I think
I would think so, too.
There's some safeties. There's some linebackers that you can take.
There's a lot of safeties.
A lot of safeties, a lot of linebackers. So I don't know. Was that 10 defensive linemen?
Yeah.
I don't know. Interesting.
It also depends on how you classify the kid.
Sure.
Some people may have him, as a defensive, as a lineman versus a linebacker, a defensive back. A lot of these kids play different positions.
I'd go under on the 10.
Yeah,
I'm going to go under.
That makes sense. Then you have the wide receiver prop that's out there. I've seen it in a couple different places. Will a wide receiver be selected 15th or earlier? Now it goes against what I just said. I would say yes. There's a chance.
I think a wide receiver is going to go later in the first round, but I think there's going to be wide receivers in the second round. So why take one that early? There you might have one that early, but was there an over under, or will there be?
It's a yes or no. Plus 150 for the yes. 15th or earlier.
Plus 150.
There are a lot of teams in the top 15 that need receivers. Some need quarterbacks more than receivers.
Yeah.
Giants.
But the problem is they're going to be available in the second round. You know what? Yes. I'm going to say yes. Yes. Plus 150 or some value there. Yes.
I wonder what Gettleman's going to do. if he picks a receiver versus a quarterback in his position, the 6th spot.
I think that should be a prop bet in some of the. Will the Giants pick a quarterback in this? They have to be. They have to be. But regardless of what Gettleman says in his crazy press conferences, they have to go with a quarterback. I mean, this time's running short for the Giants.
And they traded away Beckham.
Yeah, yeah.
I still don't understand that move, but in some respects I do because he's a diva. In their eyes, he was.
I don't know if you would consider it a rebuild. It has to be considered a rebuilding mode for the Giants. So why not get a quarterback?
Both New York teams have been rebuilding for decades.
Yeah.
So, and last prop bet I want to hit: number of quarterbacks selected in the first round.
First round.
I've been seeing everywhere over under 3.5. Now it really depends on that first pick.
I think you'll see 3. You know, the 3 everyone's talking about. But
what are you talking about? Murray, Haskins, and Luck?
Yeah, I think that those are the 3 because enough teams, like I told you, Denver wants a quarterback, Miami needs a quarterback,
Redskins,
Tampa Bay needs a quarterback, Redskins need a quarterback. I
don't even think they're going to get that other guy back. But the one they got from
Alex Smith.
Yeah, I don't think he's coming
I don't
back.
know, boy.
Not yet.
That's
Not yet.
A terrible injury, but boy, what? Certainly the top 3 are going to go. What's the over/under you said?
3.5. See, the one thing
3.5.
I'm going to be curious about.
I'm going to say over.
I'm going to say under.
Really? Okay,
because
I think there's enough teams that might see value in that.
But the one thing I'm going to look at, because I saw this morning on Pro Football Talk, Locke. He came out and said he would rather be drafted by a number in 32nd spot than be number 1 on a bad team. Now, is that a hint that maybe the Patriots are going to pick him at 32? It's going to bear watching to see if they actually do that, because he went out and said 32 being picked 32nd on a good team for him would be much better than being picked number 1 on a bad team.
Let me tell you something. I think that would cause so much drama in New England, which
they got to get somebody.
They got to get someone. But when you use a first round pick and you just sit them. I mean,
New England's in a unique situation. They've got Brady over there. God knows when he's going to retire. It's got to be soon. You got to have somebody ready and able to run the offense. Locke seems to be the best fit for their offense.
Yeah, but
he was almost Brady Jr. in some of the ways he plays the game. But again, did he tip his hand?
Yeah,
I mean that's an interesting statement to make the day of the draft.
That would cause drama that you probably don't need in New England.
I don't think so.
It's they got rid of Garoppolo, and I don't think you want a first rounder there sitting on the bench like that. So.
Well, again, pick 32. Technically, that's end of the first round. If you
don't need a quarterback, you can get him in the 2nd or 3rd rounds.
Yeah, I guess so. But again, I'm going to be curious to see if they actually do this, because it was a little tip.
I was looking around, and I have not seen this prop bet. And I don't know if there can be a prop bet. Maybe later on in the draft that they'll formulate and put it up on the big board. But I have not seen anyone or any sports book to give odds on my favorite part of the draft, Mr. Irrelevant. I haven't seen one. Did you see one?
I thought I saw one on PointsBet.
Well, if they do, good for them. I haven't seen them.
There's a couple. I know the offshore books have them.
Yeah.
That's a given, and we're not going to talk about the offshore books.
but no, I have not seen Mr. Irrelevant. So.
I believe 1 or 2 sites have it.
Good. Well, shop around.
Yeah.
Boy. The odds on that must be incredible.
I guess. I mean,
that is such. You almost have to be psychic to try to figure that one out.
You also have to be very, very patient, because Mr. Irrelevant rolls along at the end of that draft, and that's a long time.
Well, that's what I mean. Maybe late Friday, Saturday, maybe might start seeing some names, and they might start putting names up on the big board to see who Mr. Irrelevant's going to be. But that's always very interesting place.
See, now you just brought up an interesting point.
Yeah.
Are we going to start seeing odds on the draft boards?
We were in Atlantic City the other day, and you know what?
No. I mean in Nashville.
Oh, in Nashville. Oh, I don't know.
I'm talking about on the stages.
No, it's Ooh, the state. Oh, I don't know about that one, but it should be interesting. Though.
Somebody, at least in the ESPN broadcast, ABC, ESPN, whatever you want to call it, maybe even the NFL Network broadcast. I wonder if they're going to start throwing the odds up.
It'd be interesting, but boy, I don't know if they're going to overtly tip their cap to gambling on that point.
Well,
but,
if they don't talk about it, they're not overtly tipping.
Well, I get. I mean, it's just flash it up on the board.
That's
I don't know about
saying.
that.
That's what I'm saying. It'll be interesting to see if they integrate some of this stuff somewhere.
I don't know.
That
should be interesting. Well, one more thing to watch for in the NFL draft.
Yep. And make sure you do shop around, get the best lines.
Yeah, a lot of sports books have a lot of different odds and a lot of different features and a lot of different prop bets. Shop around. So they're really great. And I just want to end, appropriately enough, this portion of Turnpike Sports was brought to you by PointsBet.com. PointsBet has one of the best sign-up offers in New Jersey. Go to PointsBet.com and sign up using our promo code PIKE. That's PIKE, and you'll get a $50 bonus bet plus 2 risk-free bets up to $1,000. So sign up today at PointsBet.com using our promo code PIKE and start having some real fun. That's promo code PIKE, PIKE. PointsBet, stay sharp. Must be 21 years or older. And in New Jersey, to place a bet, terms and conditions apply. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
And if you're like us, there's no problem finally gambling.
No.
Sorry for that bad joke, people.
No.
But, again, multiple sports books. If you're in New Jersey, you got tons to choose from. If you're in Vegas, you know what to do there. Wherever you're at, enjoy the draft, whether you're betting on it or just watching it.
Enjoy the draft, everyone. See you next time on the Turnpike.